Good morning and thank you for joining us on Newsline. We're broadcasting live on NBT Radio Thailand FM 88 and NBT World. Today is Friday, September 25th, 2015, and I'm Surapala Tharanarit. And let's begin with today's segment of Thailand Moves Forward. Well, currently, Prime Minister General Prayut Chan-o-cha is on a visit to the United States to attend the 70th session of the United Nations General Assembly, where he will be rendering his statement on sustainable development. Let's take a look at this report.
On the historic occasion of the 70th anniversary of the United Nations, where world leaders will gather to inaugurate the Global Development Agenda for the next 15 years, known as the Substantial Development Goals, or SDGs. The Prime Minister of Thailand will make an important contribution by sharing his vision on Thailand's balanced and sustainable development experiences, based on His Majesty the King's Sufficiency Economy philosophy, which is an internationally recognized approach to sustainable development. As human capital is considered the most valuable asset for a country, investment in human capital through education is thus an essential core of a country's development efforts. Investment in education encourages thinkers, doers, and innovators in all branches and fields, contributing to national workforce development. However, there are still many children who lack access to adequate and quality educational services. According to United Nations figures in the year 2000, there were up to 100 million uneducated children worldwide. On that account, the United Nations set an objective for all children to have access to primary education at the minimum level, and this objective was set at the second objective of the Millennium Development Goals in year 2000. At that time, Thailand had already determined that primary education was compulsory, and therefore the country had achieved this MDG in 1995. In addition, Thailand had set up funding projects to support educational expenses, called Free Education Policy, 15 years of outstanding and quality education, starting from primary to secondary education or up to vocational certificate level. As Thailand continuously places education as the key to human capital development, and therefore the enhancement of the country's competitiveness, the Royal Thai government has focused on improving Thailand's educational standards at all levels. Apart from providing basic education to all Thai children, the government has also attached importance to comprehensively improving education in aspects such as curriculum development, quality development of teachers and students to raise the standards of academic achievements, promotion of research and science and technology to be applied to agriculture and industry for product value creation, quality development for small-scale schools by using the Gang Jan model, which is a form of joint development school, promotion of education for students in remote areas via distance learning television or DLTV, and distance education via information technology, which is a project that has been developed from a Royal Development Project. Bestowed by Her Royal Highness Princess Mahachakri Sirinthorn, a Royal Development Project has been initiated at the Border Patrol Police School for children in remote and wilderness areas, as well as for disadvantaged children along the border areas to improve the quality of lives of children and the communities. The project has also received funding support from public and private sectors. In addition, the Royal Thai government has declared 2015 to be the Students Free from Illiteracy Year, in which all students that graduate from first grade must be able to read. With this, the Policies and Academic Development Committee, chaired by the Prime Minister, has been recently established. The mission of this committee is to propose policies and approaches in improving and raising the standard of education, the government's learning policies, and to effectively monitor and coordinate with all relevant agencies. The Royal Thai government has also been emphasizing people-centered development through knowledge building, in order to foster growth based on appropriate and moderate usage of resources, in line with Thai society and cultures, to create balance between the economy, society, and the environment, in accordance to the sufficiency economy approach. The government is thus proposing this development method as a sustainable direction for the next development era at the UN Summit. While investment in education and human capital may take a long time for tangible results to show, the rewards are worthwhile as it is an investment which can be passed on from generation to generation. Education is therefore the true essence of sustainable development.
And Deputy Prime Minister and Defense Minister General Prawit Wongsuwan says the government is ready to accept whatever ruling to be handed by the European Union with regard to illegal, unreported, and unregulated or IUU fishing. Speaking about the European Union's assessment of the government campaign against IUU fishing in October, General Prawit said he believed that the ongoing attempts to solve the problem should testify to the government's intention. In his opinion, the EU appraisal of the Thai fishing industry should remain the same in the worst-case scenario. He added that the government was ready to answer any doubts and questions, as it had complied with all suggestions of the EU. The government mapped out a number of measures to crack down on illegal fishing after the EU issued a final warning or a so-called yellow card to the country in April. The government's solutions to the problem included the establishment of port-in, port-out centers in seaside provinces to regulate fishing boats' activities, the registration of fishing boats and tools, and the ban on environmentally destructive fish traps. The Public-Private Partnership, or PPP, committee has agreed to expedite 5 megaprojects with combined investment of over 200 billion baht. Deputy Prime Minister Somkit Jatusi-Pitak on Thursday presided over a meeting of the PPP committee. The 5 megaprojects, which received the green light from the meeting to start urgently, include 3 electric train projects and 2 waste-to-energy plants. The committee assigned the Ministry of Finance to find sources of loan for the projects and establish an infrastructure fund to mobilize the government's investment. The meeting also considered a draft of ministerial regulations for the revised PPP Act, which increases the value of a PPP project from 1 billion to 5 billion baht. Deputy Prime Minister Air Chief Marshal Prachin Chantong has confirmed the government's intention to push forward the Digital Academy concept and set up creative and design centers in more provinces. In a televised interview, Air Chief Marshal Prachin revealed that the government is determined to promote creativity among the Thai public, believing it would be beneficial for the nation, especially in the economic aspect. He noted that Thailand could be following in the footsteps of South Korea, which has been successful in applying creativity in many fields, including product design. The Deputy Premier said the government hopes to increase people's access to technological advancements available in this digital age in a bid to foster creative thinking among them. Therefore, he pledged that more serious efforts will be put into promoting the Digital Academy project over the next 3 months. Moreover, Air Chief Marshal Prajin noted that the government is planning to open more branches of the Thailand Creative and Design Center, or TCDC, next year, expectedly in Khon Kaen, Phetchaburi, or Prachuap Khiri Khan. At present, the TCDC, which serves as a creative learning center and a meeting place for creative minds, has 2 branches in Bangkok and Chiang Mai, with over 30,000 members. Minister of Agriculture and Cooperatives General Chatchai Sarikanya said that the cabinet meeting approved 8 assistance measures for rice farmers in the Chao Phraya and Mae Klong river basins who could be affected by the coming water crisis due to drought. The measures proposed by the Ministry of Agriculture and Cooperatives will begin on October 1, 2015, with a view to getting all sectors, agriculture, industry, service, and others, ready for the coming water crisis, which could drag into next year. The measures will ensure that no conflicts will arise over the water shortage problem among different sectors. Main focuses of the measures are distributing production factors to reduce costs of production, suspending or extending debt installment period, creating alternative job opportunities for farmers, running water-saving campaigns, dredging new water sources, offering loans to local communities, and conducting rainmaking operations. 18 rainmaking aircraft will be mobilized from areas with a normal situation to areas suffering from water shortages, mostly in the northern and northeastern provinces. The operation has already started today. The National Legislative Assembly, or NLA, has passed a draft amendment of the law which involves the protection of all operations by the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, or ASEAN. At the NLA sitting on Thursday, members of the legislature voted 165 to none with 2 abstentions to accept in principle the draft amendment and resolved to assign the committee in charge of foreign affairs to work on it within 30 days. Deputy Prime Minister Wisanu Kriyangam said that the reason for the amendment was to expand the coverage of protection of all ASEAN personnel in all operations, from the Secretary General to specialists and officers of member states who are on ASEAN-related missions in Thailand. He said that under the amended law, all will have the privilege of protection as stated in the ASEAN Charter, which Thailand signed on October 25, 2009. The President of the National Legislative Assembly, or NLA, has joined in a special sport match to mark 4 decades of diplomatic relations between Thailand and China. President Phonphet Vichit Cholachai on Thursday joined Chinese Ambassador to Thailand, His Excellency Mr. Ning Fukui, in a special ping-pong game which has been set to be a symbol of close diplomatic ties between Thailand and China during the past 40 years. For this game, the special rule of 4 serves was allowed, as it was intended to symbolize 40 years of relations. The game was suggested because both countries began diplomatic ties through this same type of sports between Thailand's former Prime Minister Mom Ratchawong Khukrit Pramod and China's Prime Minister Zhou Enlai. After that game, both former leaders signed a declaration to mark the beginning of the 2 countries' diplomatic relations on July 1, 1975. And that's the end of today's edition of Thailand Moves Forward. We'll take a quick break now, but before that, let's have a look at the exchange rates and commodity prices.
maintain a strong nation, Thailand is promoting 12 core values for the good of the people. The seventh core value, understanding true democratic ideals with His Majesty the King as head of state.
Even if we don't see them, they are amongst us. And they're hungry. Slay your power-sucking monsters. Take their power away. Think when you plug.
Welcome to ASEAN, a community comprised of 10 countries, each with its unique culture and history, now unifying to bring added prosperity to the region. For centuries, each country remained independent, but now we are coming together to compete in the 21st century globalized world. ASEAN is bringing together more than 600 million citizens and a total land area of 4.4 million square kilometers, and is providing economic opportunities, trade, travel, and new educational possibilities. The combined GDP of all 10 ASEAN countries comes to a total of $2.4 trillion, which means the ASEAN entity ranks amongst the world's major economic powers. The future is here. Welcome to ASEAN, the community of opportunities. The Southeast Asia region is now becoming one.
Multiple perspectives, insightful commentary on Thailand with The Insider every Sunday morning at 10:30 on NBT and NBT World.
Welcome back. You're watching Newsline. The Ministry of Transport is supporting Thailand in becoming the logistic hub of ASEAN and the Greater Mekong Sub-region, or GMS, to coordinate with neighboring countries and develop its domestic infrastructure. Mr. Akom Termpithiyapaisit, Minister of Transport, said that since Thailand is the center of ASEAN and the GMS, all ASEAN countries located to the south of Thailand have to pass through the kingdom in order to reach the big market in China, as well as to enter its neighboring countries. So connectivity is the impetus for all infrastructures to be linked to all member states.
Land transport is a key because Thailand is a center in the GMS and also center in the ASEAN. First, develop our road, rails and bridges crossing the border. As we already start the second bridge in the Mesot Mewadi as a second bridge to connect to the Myanmar and the India, Bangladesh in the future. Secondly, the within the country infrastructure, the government has allocated the budget 2014-2015, including the 2016. A big portion of the budget go to the highway and the rural road. So meaning is the connectivity between the Bangkok, which is the capital city, to the border province is important for Thailand. And the third, building the special economic zone at the border. This will be the key because we have shared the border with our neighboring country more than 4,000 kilometers. So we have to make use of the transport facility, road, rail, and bridges at the border to increase our value added to our economy.
Added that there are several areas of the infrastructure development policy which have now been endorsed by the Cabinet, including the intercity rail network projects, which aim to upgrade the railway system in Thailand and increase the speed of the trains, and the mass transit projects in Bangkok, in which the government is now focusing on 4 lines being prepared by the Ministry of Transport, which are the Pink Line, the Yellow Line, the extension of the Purple Line, and the Orange Line. Meanwhile, the private sector could join the projects as well, as the projects welcome the private sector's participation in the form of public-private partnerships, or PPPs, in both the intercity rail network projects and the mass transit projects. Besides the rail projects between Bangkok and Rayong and Bangkok and Hua Hin, which will offer high-speed train services, will be initiated by the private sector and hopefully receive approval from the PPP committee by the first quarter of next year. These joint ventures demonstrate that the private sector can be involved in all the infrastructure projects. Moving on to other news from around the globe. Saudi King Salman said he had ordered a review of the kingdom's plans for the annual Hajj pilgrimage after more than 700 died in a crash outside the Muslim holy city of Mecca on Thursday. King Salman, speaking in a live speech broadcast by Saudi-owned Al Arabiya television, also said he had asked for a swift investigation into what he described as a painful incident. At least 863 others were injured during the disaster, in which 2 large groups of pilgrims arrived together at a crossroads in Mina, a few kilometers east of Mecca, on their way to performing the stoning of the devil ritual at Jamarat. Thursday's disaster was the worst to occur at the pilgrimage since July 1990, when 1,426 pilgrims suffocated in a tunnel near Mecca. Both incidents occurred on Eid al-Adha, or the Feast of the Sacrifice, Islam's most important feast, and the day of the stoning ritual. Photographs published on the Twitter feed of Saudi Civil Defense on Thursday showed pilgrims lying on stretchers, while emergency workers in high-visibility jackets lifted them into an ambulance. Other images showed bodies of men in white Hajj garments piled on top of each other. Some corpses bore visible injuries. Unverified video posted on Twitter showed pilgrims and rescue workers trying to revive some victims. The Hajj, the world's largest annual gathering of people, has been the scene of numerous deadly stampedes, fires, and riots in the past. But their frequency has been greatly reduced in recent years as the government spent billions of dollars upgrading and expanding Hajj infrastructure and crowd control technology. And that's the end of today's edition of Newsline. For any comments or suggestions, please feel free to email them to us at newsline.nbt@gmail.com. You can also follow us on Facebook or visit our website at thainews.prd.go.th/en. And for today, we're going to say goodbye with some footage of giraffes attempting to reach for hidden treats at the Sydney Zoo. I'm Surapalao Tharanarit. Thank you for joining us and have a good day. สวัสดีครับ